What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Flippin' Stoop. On another beautiful fine day here in Michigan. I can't believe it. We haven't had much snow at all this year. I think one time the ground was covered, and then it lightly covered the ground again. By the time we woke up, it was gone. This video, guys, I'm going to get right into this discussion. It's just kind of going to be a rant. It's not, I try to motivate people and encourage people and get them to look at a different point of view of reselling and financial freedom in general, right? And the reason why this topic has been banging in my head today, the financial freedom thing, is it is a choice, right? Financial freedom is a choice. And I'm going to clarify why I've been thinking about this. The reason I've been thinking about it so much is because I made a comment in a Facebook group, right? There was a post posted saying, "Why does every time the holidays come around, I find myself broke?" And number one, the holidays don't change. You know when they're coming, so you should plan for them, right? Like that, Christmas ain't going to change next year. It's going to be on the same day, just another year away. You know it's coming. What we do as people, and me included at times, we tend to avoid it, right? We put it to the back of our mind, and then when we get there, we're stressed out and we're freaking out, and we're oh my God, how am I going to get the money for gifts and blah, 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 right? So this is what really encouraged me to even make this video was all the comments I seen. I made a comment in that group on that post. For any of you that just joined, again, the post says, "Why is it every time a holiday comes around, I'm broke? I find myself struggling and broke." And I'm just like, well, that you know it's coming, so maybe you should plan for it. But I made a comment, and it was kind of lengthy, and I just basically said, hey, look, financial freedom is a decision, right? It's a choice. Okay, now I'm not saying financial freedom's easy and everybody's gonna do it, because all the comments I got from this comment that I put on there lets me know how many people have a poverty mindset. Almost every single comment says, "My husband works 3 jobs, 7 days a week, 69 hours a week, 85 hours a week, and we're still broke." I'm like, ain't that like a sign? Look, if you're working 3 jobs, okay, I'm not judging you. You're doing what you know, but you were taught as a child, growing up, get a job, work for somebody to pay your bills, right? Most of us were taught that in life. It's our system. It's corrupt and it's fucked up, right? If everybody was taught throughout school, hey, this is how you get wealthy. Hey, this is how you get out of the poverty mindset, right? This is how you get out of the poverty living. You start a side gig and you work a 9 to 5 until whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they tell you all this, and they told you that for 12 years. Nobody would be financially struggling, right? Nobody would be financially struggling. Now, yeah, it was the comments on this post that really made me want to make this video, because I couldn't believe it. Every person, they were laughing at me, right? They were laughing at my financial freedom as a choice. They were basically ridiculing me and belittling me, saying, "Tell me your trick." And one person even went to the extent to say, "How am I going to do that? My feet is ugly," which basically is like feet porn, right? And I'm just like, look at the mindset. I went back and read them comments, and I'm like, there's a lot more people out there that don't think there's no other options than a 9 to 5. When they're saying, "I'm working 2 jobs, my husband's working 3 jobs, and I'm still broke," number one, you're living outside your means. If 2 people have 5 jobs and you're working 7 days a week and you're broke, you're living outside your means, number one. Because there is no fucking way in hell you should have 5 jobs between 2 people and be financially broke, right? People are like, "Well, I got 8 kids." Well, maybe you should have thought about that. I'm not going to give it, right? But maybe you should have thought about that on kid number 2. Like, should I have another one? Am I going to financially be able to afford that? Now, I'm not trying to offend anybody that has a bunch of kids. We have 5 kids ourselves, right? And we've had struggling times as well. So I totally get that, right? But the truth is, there's so many people stuck in that mindset. Like, the only way to make money is to go apply somewhere, get a job, and then dictate how much money you make. Because that's exactly what it is. There's going to be a cap at your job somewhere, right? Even if you're working in the union and you get so much per diem and you get $50 an hour, right? That's a cap. They're telling you this is all you're going to make. Now, I'm not saying that's bad money, right? I'm just saying they're putting a cap, they're putting limitations on you, okay? And throughout them comments when I said, hey, It was a long comment I put. Look, financial freedom, I said, is a choice. So if you're broke, it's your fault. And you don't, it was unbelievable how many people got offended by what I said there. But am I lying? Am I lying? They could cut out their Netflix and do something like we're doing in this group. They could cut out some of their spending. Maybe they got 6 vehicles, drop it down to 2, right? Excuse me, guys. I just drank my protein drink. We just did a really good workout. Just drank my protein drink, and it's not settling too well. But anyways, like these people are saying, my husband works 3 jobs, 7 days a week, no days off, and we're broke. You're doing something wrong, don't you? Am I being an asshole? I've done it myself. My fiance's had 2 jobs. I've had 2 jobs. I've done it before too, and we were broke. Why were we broke? Because we were spending stupid. We're buying shit we didn't need, right? And we're wasting time we didn't need to waste. If you want to be, if you want some type of financial, even if you keep your 9 to 5 and do this on the side, I did that shit for a year, guys. I was never broke when I was at work doing this on the side. I always had money in my pocket for lunch or whatever else, right? And you can do the same thing. Most people, I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart by all them comments, most people just don't believe it's possible for them. The biggest excuse I've seen on there after I told them what we did and how long ago we started and so on and so forth, their biggest excuse is I don't have the time or I don't got the money. And that's both lies and excuses. You don't need money to get started on eBay. I can go into any one of your houses in this group and probably find $1,000 of inventory I could list. Almost guarantee it, right? Some maybe more. And in your garage, right? Stuff you're not using. Their biggest excuse is they don't got the time. You got the time, right? We all feel entitled that we need 3 hours of Netflix time at the end of the night. Well, if you choose that, ain't that making a choice to be financially unstable? That is a choice. It's a decision. And nobody would understand this in the group. They were bashing me. And I'm like, I'm not, like, I even told them, I'm like, look, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm trying to get you to look at it as a different point of view. Can't you wake up, go to your 9 to 5, come home and work on eBay for 2 hours? No, I got kids. I got to feed them. Okay, feed your kids. But what are you doing at nighttime on your downtime, right? I think we, in America at least, we feel we're entitled to certain time off. Why do you think, thank God it's Friday became so big, right? You feel entitled to the weekend. Why? It's because we're doing what we don't want to do, so by the time the weekend comes, we get to be lazy. And I'm not saying you're lazy on the weekend. Maybe you go out and do whatever you want to do, right? And that's great. But the truth is you ain't got to go to the job you don't like. So the real truth behind in reselling, in anything to do with reselling, is financial freedom is a choice. It's a choice of what you're willing to sacrifice when it comes down to the grit of reselling, right? If you're not really willing to sacrifice 8 hours a day, maybe 5 days a week, or however you decide to do your eBay, or 4 hours a day after you get home from work or 3 hours, then if you're only getting your paycheck that's coming in and nothing on the side, that's your choice, isn't it? Is it not your choice? Am I lying? Am I like being I'm not, see, here's why a lot of them groups and shit don't like me. Because I will say what you want to say, but you don't have the balls to say it because I don't care if people like me, right? That's why a lot of them comments were coming to me, laughing at me and saying this and saying that, right? And bashing me, saying, oh, this guy thinks whatever, right? And it's not that I think that. I'm just trying to give people something else. If maybe one person said, hey, message me, I want to know what you're doing. I serve my purpose, right? Not everybody's going to see that. That's why in other videos I've also talked about, don't go around telling everybody your idea. Nobody's going to believe you're going to be able to do it, dude. Or do that. Nobody is going to believe it. Why? Because they don't believe they could do it. So why in the fuck would they think you could do it? So just make it make sense. And if you're broke right now, don't beat yourself up. But tell yourself, hey, maybe if I did put up my fucking remote for 2 hours in the evening or 2 hours in the morning, I could be a little more financially secure. If you just listed 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, you're going to have another $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month security. These people think that to resell on eBay that you got to list 80 hours a week and blah, blah, blah to make it. No, you don't. You can keep your 9 to 5. That's your choice. You can keep your 9 to 5 and do this on the side and maybe use the side income to take your family and do something nice at the end of the year. There's a million different avenues in ways you can go about it. You don't have to just go full-time reselling. Look, that was my choice. I don't push that on nobody, and I don't believe you should ever do that, right? Just like religion. Some people are religious and they believe a certain, you shouldn't push that on people or anything like that, as well as I'm not trying to push you guys or girls to be full-time resellers. I'm just trying to push people to look at something different, right? You ever hear that old statement, if nothing changes, nothing changes? So you want to start a side hustle, but you want to keep the life that you had before you started a side hustle. That's not going to be able to happen. Because first of all, whatever life you had before you started the side hustle, if you keep it the same, you're going to have no time for the side hustle, right? How are you going to? You're not going to be able to. Because you're used to, when you get home from work, you kick your boots off, you take a shower, you eat some dinner, and you sit on the couch, and you watch the Giants for the next 4 hours, right? You're not going to be able to do that. You want a side hustle. Or you're going to have to prioritize that. Maybe you've worked really hard for 4 days out of the week, and those 4 days you're putting items in your storage bank. That way, on the days a show does come on that you want to watch, you can release them before the show starts. Right? There's ways around it. But financial freedom, I don't care what anybody says in this group and anywhere else out there, it is a choice. People only get offended when somebody says that because they're not willing to look outside of their perspective and how they've been living. Right? It is a choice. People that are wealthy, they didn't just get lucky. They made choices that we are not willing to make. And that's just truthful. You'll hear people talk about it all the time. Oh, they were just born with a golden spoon or a silver spoons and their parents just handed them down. No, it's all choice. They could have been a fucking bum too. Look, I was a drug addict for 25 years. We had food on the table all the time. Like, people think that drug addicts just come from the inner city or whatever, right? That's a bunch of bullshit. No, it doesn't. Drug addicts come from anywhere. It don't matter if you're wealthy or unwealthy. And wealthy people can come from anywhere, whether you were born wealthy or not. It is a decision. And a successful reseller can become successful whether your entire family was unsuccessful, right? You ever hear the old terminology? You might not have came from a successful family, but success can come from you. It's truthful. You can make the decisions to make your bank account financially stable. Or you can stay with the same mindset, keep doing the same thing, expecting different results in the future, and that is literally labeled as insanity, and it's true. So it really boils down to, what are you willing? First of all, you got to be willing to open your own book up, right? And this does relate with eBay, guys. What you got to be willing to do is open your own book up and be honest with yourself. Where are you being lazy at in life? There ain't a single soul in this group or that I have ever met that ain't lazy somewhere in their life, right? I was lazy for a long time with exercising. I was lazy for a long time with eBay. I was lazy for a long time with my relationships. I was late, all this stuff. There people put off shit. Like, if you say, for example, if you put off you have a disagreement with your significant other and you put that conversation off, that's being lazy because you don't want to deal with what's going to come. Right? So don't think laziness is just you sit on a couch and eat potato chips and fucking do nothing all day and expect fucking money to fall out of the sky, right? That's not what I'm talking about when I'm saying lazy, right? Very few of us in life go all in on anything, right? On anything. That's why we get mediocre results on everything. Right? Your bank account will get mediocre. You'll get 10 grand in there. 4 months later, something will happen. You'll be down to 2 again. Right? Or like I just did a video not long ago talking about how very it was nuts, the percentage that I want to say 21% of the people had $1,000 or more in the bank account. To me, that is batshit crazy. That's batshit crazy when there's all these side gigs, and that's where this conversation got started. Is somebody was complaining about, every time the holidays come around, I'm broke. I'm like, well, don't you think you need to change something? Like, I mean, how many, you're 60 years old talking about this. Like, hasn't that been happening for your whole life? Then the only way, what do you think, just one day you're going to magically, somebody's going to give you a bonus and it's going to be all better? Some of you guys may get bonuses at your 9 to 5. That's rad. right? But don't look for a bonus. Make it happen for yourself. People look for the easiest way out, and people, me included, guys. When I'm talking about people, I'm talking about me, right? Because I can relate with all this, and they look for people to give them handouts. They really do. Like, I worked for my company for 20 years. They didn't give me a bonus, right? Well, when you got out of work, you could have been giving yourself a bonus with the side hustle. You just choose not to. So, of course, you're going to make the same amount of money. And people don't want to see that shit. They feel like a company owes them something. Like, they don't owe you nothing. You're one reason why I really got out of the 9 to believe. I don't believe in it. I don't believe how they treat their employees. I don't believe they're underpaying. I don't believe in the federal government taxing you 50 some odd percent of every dollar you make, because they tax you when you make it, they tax you when you spend it, they tax you on homeowners insurance, they tax you on fucking Michigan driver's licenses or wherever you're at, your auto insurance, they tax you on everything. So by the time it boils around, you make $1,000, you really ain't got nothing but 500, because by the time you're done, it's all done. That's all gone, in taxes. To me, it's bullshit. We pay some of the most expensive taxes. Dubai pays 0% tax, and they are probably the top 2 or 3 richest countries in the world. They pay 0% tax, right? And the roads and everything are perfect. So back to the financial freedom, though. It is, guys. It's a choice. And I've made choices to be less financially stable than I could be, right? I've made many choices. I've had many days. I'm like, it just a bunch of shit happened today, and I'm just not going to work today. I've had that happen numerous times on eBay, right? And you know what the results were? Not being financially where I want to be. So it is a choice, and I'm not reaching out to try to make anybody feel bad. I don't make videos to do that. I try to encourage and empower people that, one, you're not alone. You were brought up in a corrupt system, and no, I don't got a little tinfoil hat on, and I'm not a theorist. I'm a realist. Like, I talk about what I've studied, what I've seen, and what is actually happening in our system. It's fucked up. They teach you a bunch of shit for 12 years. That don't make no sense, right? The history they taught you, all fake. Like, all this shit's fake. They put fake shit into your head so you turn into cattle, and then they tell you to go get a 9 to 5, because they don't want everybody wealthy, because when people get wealthy, what happens when people get wealthy? They get power. And they don't want that. You got 2,000 people in the government. You got 8 billion people in the world. Who do you think overdominates? The 2,000. And that's sad. Because nobody's got a voice. Why? Because the system brainwashes people. Okay? So these people arguing with me that financial freedom isn't a choice, they're brainwashed. To be truthful, you're an idiot. It's not your fault, so I don't want to call you an idiot. But you have been washed the wrong way. Our system's corrupt, man. They corrupt you. They kindergarten through 12th is a system to set you up to do what you don't want to do for a little bit of money, and to teach you that you are not capable of anything more. That is what it is. If you can't see through that shit, look at the teachers. How little bit of pay. They say school is the most important thing. Then why ain't the fucking teachers making $300,000 a year? They're not. They're not, right? Because it's just some made up bullshit they made up. Now look, I'm not saying you don't need math and vocal skills and things like that, right? Because you obviously need you need to be able to communicate, and you need to be able to add numbers, especially if you're becoming a reseller. But all the other bullshit, it's bullshit. It's made up bullshit, right? It's just created by some fucking jerk off that was in it. Anyway, I don't want to get too far off, but all I try to do throughout my videos is encourage people that you can. You just have to start thinking different. And your success on eBay is predicated on your thought process. I don't care what any reseller says. If you're listing all day long, and you keep telling yourself you're not going to win, eventually you're not going to list all day long. You're gonna start getting lazy. You're gonna start fucking doing it 2 hours a day instead of 4. Bring your success. Think about it. The cell phone. I give you guys little examples, right? So think about all the other shit. The automobiles. Think about an automobile. They got sick and tired of riding around on a fucking buggy and some oxen or a fucking horse on some wooden wheels from one side of the country to the other, and it taking them 16 fucking months to get there. And somebody thought, what about an automobile? And everything starts as a thought. The cell phone started as a thought. Somebody's walking around their house with the fucking cord that was a mile long, right? And then all of a sudden they come out with cordless phones, and they did that in my time, right? And then before you know it, somebody's like, man, this cordless phone thing's pretty fucking cool. Wouldn't it be cool if you could make a phone call when you're driving in your vehicle? And then they come out with them big old fucking huge cell phones, and you had to be pretty wealthy to have one back in the day. They're about this big, and they flipped out, and they plugged into your car, right? And then after that, they become cellular. And then and look at us now. All that shit started with a thought, right? And if they didn't believe that they could make it happen, none of this would exist. It is all thought. Where you want to go in your eBay journey starts as a thought. And then action. That's it. So what I was trying to explain to these people in this group was, look, I said, look at your comment. Look what you just said. Don't that make sense? Your husband's working 3 jobs. You're working 2 jobs. And you're still broke. Isn't that a fucking sign? That maybe a 9 to 5 isn't the way to go. Now look, guys, just please remember, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from a 9 to 5. If you like what you do and you enjoy your 9 to 5, and of course everybody loves the security of a certain amount of numbers coming in, and you should enjoy that, and you should not leave your job right in the beginning at all. I would never tell anybody, yeah, go tell your boss to fuck off and start today. Oh, you're going to be asked out, right? You're going to be back somewhere else looking for a 9 to 5 because you're not going to make enough money soon enough. Okay, it takes time to build up a side hustle of any sort. But what I am trying to get people to realize is all these comments I've seen, it was insane how many comments that were negative back towards me. I'm trying to give people a different perspective to look at. I'm not saying you're fucking stupid because you're not financially fucking secure. Who the fuck am I? I was broke as fuck for 25 years of my life. Who the fuck, what would I look like saying that shit, right? I figured something out, and somebody taught me that. So I try to give people I try to get people to stop thinking out of the way you've been thinking for the fucking rest of your life, or for your life up until now, and look at it in a different way. Why can't there be a different way? It ain't just a 9 to 5. Do you think anybody that becomes super financially fucking wealthy worked a 9 to 5 to get that way? No, man. Now, look, I'm not saying there aren't some people that have it better off than others at certain 9 to 5s because they may pay you more or so on and so forth. But nobody became billionaires working for somebody. Unless let me take that back. There's a couple of people that did get involved in the stock market, and they learned the stock market and things like that, right? And started trading and going from there. But they went out on their own. They did something. They took faith and confidence, educated risks is what they did. They took educated risks and believed in themselves. And if you do that, you will leave the herd behind. I'm telling you that. What do I mean that? What do I mean by that? The herd, right? The herd is all the people that, I'm sorry to say it, man. It sucks because I did it forever too. But if you're punching in and punching out every single day doing something you don't like to do just to pay your bills, that ain't living, man. To me, that ain't living. Now, maybe to you it is living, right? But it ain't. You shouldn't have, a time clock shouldn't tell how much you're worth. You should tell yourself how much you're worth, right? You could get up to listing 30 items in an hour if you got really quick. If you can do that, do you know how much money that is? I'm talking thousands of dollars an hour if you got a few people working with you, man. So what I try to get people to look at a different perspective. Because where you're at in your life right now, it don't matter where you're at, where I'm at, where everybody's at in this group, is all because of your thought process and your perspective up until this point. You're as far as you are right now is as far as you're going to get with the thoughts you have now. That ain't no shit. It ain't never going to change. The only thing that's going to change, you're going to get more grays, and you're going to get more wrinkles, and you're going to get older and more health problems. That's it. So actually your finances is going to go the opposite way. They're going to go in a hole. So if you continue to wake up every day with the same thoughts, my encouragement when it comes to reselling, my encouragement when it comes to starting a side gig such as reselling, start changing your thought process and stop listening to everybody that works a 9 to 5. And that's hard to swallow. Now, look, I'm not saying everybody working a 9 to 5 is a fucking idiot and none of them have good information, right? But when for the past 5 years before I started reselling, I was starting to talk to people at my jobs that I was working, and I was like, man, I'm thinking about starting a side gig. I'm thinking about doing what I was looking for in return was assurance to go ahead and start. None of them gave it to me. They're all like, dude, 9 out of 10 small businesses fail. These are people that never tried to start a business, right? So I'm taking advice from people that never tried starting a business. You know where it got me? Still punching in, punching out, bro. Right? And nobody believed in me, so I didn't do it. It took me 5 years to get the courage to start something. Right? And nobody believed it. There's people that still don't believe it, right? I don't care. I know where it's going to take us, and I know how, I can feel about how long it's going to take us to get there to goal. So it is seriously, your success level on eBay is predicated on your choices in your thought process. That is it, man. Yeah, you're going to fucking suck in the beginning. Suck it up. You suck at everything when you first started. You sucked at walking when you first started. So did I. You sucked at driving when you first started. So did I. You sucked at writing when you first started writing. So did I. You get it? Like, you didn't even know how to shower as a kid, so you sucked at showering. Now you don't even got to think about that shit, do you? Like, you're not going to be a bomb-ass master reseller when you first start. It's not how it's supposed to work. If you were, you'd get so many sales, and it'd back you up because you wouldn't be able to keep up with it. You would not be prepared. You have to go through the shit to get to the goal. It's the bottom line. There ain't no, this is why anybody that ever calls me and says, hey man, I want to know the speedy process to get there real quick. I'm like, you're fucked already, dude. Your mindset is done with already. You're not going to make it. I can basically tell through a conversation who's going to make it or not within the first 5 fucking minutes. And that's not me saying that I got some superpower. I'm just listening to what's coming out of their mouth. I want the key, dude. How do you get there really fast? You're done. You're thinking fast already? You're fucked. If you're thinking fast and building a business and you want, everybody wants results fast, right? Everybody. But if you're thinking of a cheat code or a fucking hack to eBay's fucking algorithm in the beginning, you're fucked. You ain't gonna make it. You're looking for the cheat way, and the second it gets hard, you're gonna quit. I can guarantee it. Why? Because I've done it my fucking self. I've done it myself in the beginning. So think about it. If you want different results on eBay, it starts up here. It's not about, well, Justin, that's not always true because I can't get inventory right now. Grind harder. Start looking for other places. Start messaging people on Messenger. Hey, look, check this out. I buy this amount, this kind of item. So if you know anybody else in your area, here's my number. Sure, you'd be blown away by how many people start calling you 6 months down the road, right? Or you know how many people message us like, hey, man, I got a whole garage full of clothes. Okay, on my way. It happens, right? It didn't start like that. I went 3 years without anybody ever contacting me saying, hey, I got inventory. And I was pumping shit out there. Hey, this is what we do. 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 I was saying it so much I was annoying the fuck out of myself. Right? I was driving myself nuts. And I know my fiance is like, Jesus Christ, everybody we meet, Justin. Everybody we meet. You know what I'm saying? Right? And then all of a sudden, traction started happening. You know, people that do estate sales started calling us. That's how the shit happens. You're not going to start off a beast. You're just not going to. So when I laugh when I see people on eBay be like, here's the cheat code to success. I'm like, all they want is your view, dude. That's all. All they want on YouTube is your fucking view. So they can make a couple dollars. They don't give a fuck about you. That's why I laugh at a lot of them. They're not telling you the real truth about what it's going to take you and where it starts from, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not judging everybody on YouTube. There are some very good content creators on YouTube, and there are some very good, like Chris Lynn. He's a very good person to listen to. Daily Refinement, Tech and Sports, rather it's all. But I have seen somewhere you're telling people what they want to hear, and you're not telling them the truth. You're telling people what they want to hear so you get their views and their likes and their follows, but you're leading them to ultimately you're leading them to failure. Because they're going to believe in your stupid little fucking hack shit, and 3 months later ain't going to work for them, and they're going to quit and they're going to feel like shit about themselves. That's fucked up. You're fucking somebody's head up when you do that shit. I don't believe in that shit. That's why I'm raw. I'm authentic. I don't cut and edit and all that shit in my videos. I just say what's going on up here. And the experiences I went through. Right? You're never going to get started. Dude, that. When I started listing clothes like this, you know how many times I ran upstairs? Hey, babe, what kind of top is this? Like, is this a tunic? Is this basic? How do I measure it, babe? She's like, I don't fucking know. You know me, I'm like more like a tomboy. So you know how much research I had to do before I don't have to think about it no more. I've been selling clothes for about 3 years now. Okay? Now I know it. My first 2 years, I was calling shit fucking tunics that were cropped. Okay? I was calling freaking cotton silk. Okay? I didn't know it. I sucked at it. I still got a long ways to go, but I sucked at it. You got to be okay with sucking for a while. All right? And this is what people like in this post that I was talking about in the very beginning of this video, they can't look past where life's brought them right now. That's why they can't see me. That's why as soon as they seen me post financial freedom is a choice, all their panties went in a bunch. And they told themselves how many of them got offended by it. Why? Because they're like, oh, this motherfucker says financial freedom's a choice, but I can't find it. Well, maybe you got to do something different. Right? Maybe you got to do something. They all got their panties in a bunch. I'll never comment in that group again because of that, right? Matter of fact, I left the group. I thought it was silly. I'm like, all it was a bunch of people bitching and moaning about how bad the holidays suck because they're going to wind up broke. Right? And similar shit like that, right? Why life sucks. Well, what the if you keep looking at everything, reasons why everything sucks, you're never going to make it in life, man. You're going to be mediocre just like the next person. And you're feeding into their negativity. This is what I encourage you to do. Look at the opportunity that eBay actually presents. For one, you're not putting up fucking millions of dollars for marketing. You're not doing that. And eBay markets very well. And they've been established for what, now over 30 years? I think over 30 years. They have so much traffic, it's ridiculous. I say it like this. If you can't build an eBay business that gets daily sales within time, right? Within time. If you can't do it, we'll say a year, right? That you should be able to get daily sales after a year. If not, you're not listing enough. There might be some technical issues going on. Maybe you're overpricing. Maybe you're finding shit that people don't want, right? But if you can't get daily sales after a year, you're doing something extremely wrong. What I'm trying to get to is you can get great success on eBay fast because of all the traffic. You can. I'm not telling you in 90 days you're going to be at $100,000 in sales, right? I'm not telling you that, okay? What I'm telling you is $100,000 is very possible a month if you start putting in the work now and you believe and you're going to get there and you're willing to go through the grit, you're willing to go through the bullshit, you're willing to go through the days you drop down on your knees in your fucking basement and cry because you're not there fast enough. You know how many times I've done that? Pulling my fucking hair out? Dropping tears? Like, dude, I'm a fucking god. Like, what more do I got to do, right? Just had one of them days. I had a breakdown. If you don't break down through building a business, you ain't pushing yourself hard enough. I'm telling you, there ain't a single person you're watching on YouTube that ain't sat on their fucking toilet or dropped to their knees and said, God, when is it going to happen? Or whatever they may have said. Maybe they didn't say it that way. I don't know. Right? I don't know one bit. If you talk to any real, true, successful business owner or operator, whatever, they'll all tell you there's going to be dark days. They're going to be dark days. You've got to push past through them dark days. But if you have the perspective that it's not possible, you're going to have dark days forever. You're always going to be stuck in that. Because you're going to be tethered to a certain dollar amount for the rest of your life. Why are people okay with that? I want to ask that question. Anybody in this group, ask yourself, if you've been in that situation, I was in that situation for almost 25 years, guys. A certain dollar amount, my company said they'll pay me per hour. Why was I okay with that? I'm going to give you the answer. Because I thought that was the only way. That's the truth. I thought that was the only way, and I was not made to have anything more. I was just kind of shit on throughout life, so this is what this is the dish that was handed to me. That's the dish I created. I allowed that to happen. You know, for over a decade, I've been thinking about starting my own business. I never did it because I was asking the wrong people. I was asking people that are doing the same thing as me. None of them, look, half of them there don't want to see you fucking start a business and then 3 years later you're making fucking quadruple the income they're making, because then they're going to be like, oh, goddamn, all that shit we talked, maybe we should have did what he did or she did. right? A lot of them don't want to see you succeed past what they did. There's a lot of people in life that don't want to see you succeed further than they are. I've seen family members. I've seen parents get jealous of where their kids are. It's sad. But anyways, so the bottom line is, it is perspective. Your financial situation right now, you're there because of your perspective. You're there because of what you believe you're worth. Right? I believe everybody in this group's worth $50 to $150 an hour on eBay. And there ain't nobody in this group that can't make that kind of money. Not one. Not one. I know that because we've been there, and I'm nothing special. I don't have any special trick. I'm not going to be the one like, I got a hidden trick for you guys on eBay. You're just not doing this, right? And I tell everything that I do every day. And I don't do nothing super technical. Matter of fact, there's a lot of features on eBay I'm ignorant to. I don't fucking know. And I'll be honest with you. Maybe I should be learning it and using it. I don't know. But I know it makes a couple bucks. Okay, so you have to ask yourself, what is holding you back from your... And another thing I used to believe in myself, that I wasn't worth more. Because I'd done a lot of bad in life, right? I did a lot of bad in life when I was using drugs and alcohol and all that bullshit. So I felt I wasn't worthy. Right? So you have to get whatever barrier is holding you back and stop listening to everybody around you. Like, just go for it. Go after it, man. It's your boy Flippin' Stoop. You guys have a rockin' day.